The air in the dining room hung heavy, like the moment before a storm breaks. 24 pairs of eyes fixed on me, forks suspended in midair, as Margaret's venomous words echoed through the silence. "You're nothing but a worthless burden on this family." Her accusation sliced through me, sharper than any knife on that festive table. I sat there, hands trembling beneath the linen cloth, staring at the vacant space where the dessert should have gleamed, a homemade pumpkin pie I'd slaved over for weeks. My husband, Michael, flushed crimson, avoiding my gaze. His sister, Sophie, smirked like a cat with cream, savoring my humiliation. Little 5-year-old Liam pulled at my dress hem. "Mommy, why is Grandma mad?" His small voice cracked something deep inside me, a fissure that had been widening for years. Margaret loomed at the table's head, her silver hair pinned in a severe bun that pulled her features into a perpetual skull. She wore her crimson velvet gown, the one reserved for occasions where she reigned supreme. "One simple task, Emily," she spat, her tone laced with contempt. "Bring the dessert. And you couldn't even handle that. What kind of wife forgets the pumpkin pie on Christmas?" The family watched the spectacle unfold like a slow-motion car crash. Michael's aunts fidgeted with their napkins. Uncles cleared throats uncomfortably. Cousins averted eyes to their half-eaten turkey. Even George, Margaret's husband, stared at his folded hands, offering no shield. "I'm sorry," I murmured, voice barely audible. "Liam spiked a fever this morning. I had to rush him to the ER." It threw everything off. Always an excuse. Margaret slammed her palm down, rattling the crystal glasses. "You're meant to hold this family together. But all you do is drag us down with your failures and fritter away cash." "Fritter away cash?" The words ignited a spark in my chest, fanning flames I'd smothered for too long. I thought of the endless pleas from Michael. "Mom needs just $100 for utilities. Babe, another $250 for meds. $300 this time." Her car's acting up, month after relentless month. Our savings dwindled while Margaret paraded her judgments. I rose abruptly, chair scraping with like a declaration of war. The room fell into a vacuum of silence. Even Liam froze, wide-eyed. "You want to discuss wasting money, Margaret?" My voice emerged steady, laced with steel I'd forged in quiet nights of resentment. Her eyes bulged. She wasn't accustomed to resistance. For 4 years, I'd endured her barbs, the snide remarks on my cooking, my housekeeping, my mothering, swallowing them like bitter pills. I'd grinned through gritted teeth as she broadcast my flaws to the family. "Not tonight. You label me worthless," I said, a hollow laugh escaping. "Then why keep hitting us up for handouts?" Color leached from her face. Sophie's knife clanged against porcelain. Michael looked haunted. "What nonsense is this?" George muttered, bewildered. "Oh, hasn't she shared?" I pivoted to him, then swept my gaze across the stunned assembly. The $600 last month for car fixes, or the $400 before that for bills, or the $250 prior. It's added up. "Emily." "Enough," Michael whispered. But the dam had burst. "Enough?" Hiding the truth. Rage surged, hot and unyielding. "Your darling mother has siphoned over $3,000 from us this year alone," all while branding me the deadweight. Margaret's complexion shifted from pale to furious scarlet, breaths coming in ragged bursts. "You're fabricating this. You're a schemer. Poisoning my son against me since you trapped him." And then, catastrophe struck. She clutched her chest, eyes widening in terror. "I can't breathe." She crumpled like a felled tree. For weeks prior, in the dim glow of our bedroom lamp, I folded laundry while Michael shuffled in from his shift at the auto shop. His averted eyes screamed trouble. "Hey, Han, he sighed, yanking off his work boots. Mom called. My gut twisted. Margaret's calls were harbingers of discord, always circling back to me as the villain. What now? I asked, pairing Liam's socks with mechanical precision. Her water heater's busted. Says it'll cost $350 to fix. Or they'll freeze this winter. I halted. We just forked over $400 last month for her roof leak. Before that, groceries. Before that, unexpected taxes. Michael, we can't sustain this. Liam's preschool tuition is due. And our truck needs brakes. We're scraping by as is. He slumped on the bed, rubbing temples. I get it. But she scraped by raising us after Dad's layoff. 2 jobs. No complaints. I can't let her suffer. What about George? He's back at the warehouse. Right? Michael shrugged. Mom says his check barely covers mortgage. Inflation's killing everyone. I yearned to push back. But Michael's guilt-ridden face softened me. I adored him. And he idolized her. How could I be the barrier? Fine, I relented softly. But this has to pause. We're dipping into emergency funds for Liam's birthday. He pulled me close. You're incredible. I'll tell her to budget better. That promise evaporated like morning mist. Days later, at Sophie's promotion bash, Margaret flaunted a fresh designer blouse and salon highlights, cooing to relatives. Bargain hunting's my talent, unlike some who squander on frivolities. Her glare pierced me. I wore a clearance rack top from last season. In the kitchen, fetching Liam juice, I overheard her to her sister, Emily can't run a home worth a damn. Poor Michael slaves away. And she lets the place go to pot. Look at Liam, unkempt as a stray. I'd braided his hair that morning, scrubbed his face spotless. And her meals? Michael's wasting away. I invite him over for proper food, real nourishment. Humiliation burned. But I bit my tongue. Silence had become my armor. The following week, Michael dropped another bomb. Mom's AC died. Needs $500 for a new unit. Our bank app glared back at me from the kitchen table, overdraft looming. We handed her cash 2 weeks ago for the heater. Can't Sophie chip in? She's flush from that exec gig. Mom doesn't want to burden her star child. Sophie's closing on that condo. Remember? But not proud of our grind, my part-time gig at the community center. Counseling at-risk kids, while juggling Liam's needs. Margaret sneered it was babysitting practice, ignoring my social work certification pursuits. All right, I conceded, penning the check with a tremor. But we set boundaries soon. This is bleeding us dry. He nodded vaguely, the talk never materializing. Instead, spotting Margaret at the upscale market days later. Cart brimming with prime rib and imported cheese, items costing more than our weekly budget, fueled a simmering fury. She beamed at me, just treats for George's anniversary. Sophie's bringing her fiancé. Everything must shine for my achiever. As she sauntered off, funded by our loans, resentment coiled tighter. Yet I held my peace. For now, 3 weeks to Christmas. Margaret summoned a family council at her colonial home, thriving on the power play. Dinner here. Tradition holds, she decreed from her armchair throne. George and I manage Maine's turkey. Stuffing. Sophie, your signature sweet potatoes and salad. Sophie preened. Absolutely. Mom. Adding gourmet herbs this year. Elevate the ordinary. Margaret applauded. My Sophie's touch of class. I perched beside Michael, invisible, as Liam doodled quietly. Michael. Emily rolls and dessert, she dismissed. Eyes skimming past me. Emily. Grab a store pie. Keep it straightforward, no mishaps. Her mishaps jab recalled last Easter's overbaked rolls, blamed on my incompetence, though I'd followed her recipe flawlessly. Actually, I interjected. Voice firmer than intended. I'll bake a pumpkin pie from scratch. Margaret's smile curdled. Sophie snickered. Mom. Recall Emily's Thanksgiving gravy? Lumpier than oatmeal. That was a one-off, stove glitch, I defended softly. Michael squeezed my knee. She'll nail it. Margaret waved dismissively. Ambitious. Dear. But stash a backup, just in case. Her condescension stung like salt in wounds. Sleepless that night. Replaying their mockery. I resolved I'd craft a masterpiece. Not for them, but to reclaim my worth. Library books piled up, dessert tomes. Online tutorials. Weeks of trials, spice tweaks, crust experiments. Calls to my aunt for heirloom secrets. Why the obsession? She asked. It's pie. It's dignity, I replied. By mid-December. Perfection achieved, flaky. Aromatic. Praised by center kids during tastings. But Margaret persisted in her digs. At George's firm holiday gala, she paraded Sophie, my daughter. The rising VP. Me, Emily, Michael's spouse. No nod to my youth advocacy work. My online MSW courses. Just an appendage. Over appetizers. She extolled Sophie's condo Reno, so savvy with finances. I'm beaming. Michael interjected, Emily's thriving too at the center. Margaret patronized, oh. Yes. Child-minding. Handy for Liam prep. That fueled final rehearsals. Pies baked till dawn. Proving my mettle beyond Michael's wife. If only I'd foreseen the true trial awaiting that Christmas. 2 days before the holiday. Chaos erupted. Liam woke at dawn. Scorching with fever. Mommy. Hurts, he whimpered. Curling into me. Thermometer blared 103. Michael dressed for an urgent plumbing call, holiday overtime we needed. I must get him to urgent care, I insisted. But it's Christmas Eve, try meds first? His flushed cheeks. Labored breaths, no. He's critical. We endured the clinic crush, hours of wails. Glares from others as Liam hacked. Diagnosis, severe flu. Rest mandated. Home by noon. Depleted. Pie plans derailed. With 4 hours ticking. I dosed Liam. Prepped ingredients amid his tantrums. Butter shortage forced a bundled trek to the overpriced gas station mart. Back. Crust crumbled thrice from stress. Then Sophie's call. Mom's fretting, dinner's 4 o'clock sharp. Don't dawdle. Calendar mishap, I'd noted 4:30. Panic surged. I soldiered, peeled pumpkins. Blended nutmeg cinnamon magic. Oven at 3 o'clock. Showered us. Wrapped gifts in frenzy. Pie emerged at 3:45, golden triumph. Scent divine. Let's roll. Kiddo. Loaded car. Buckled Liam. Dashed to Margaret's. Porch arrival. Laughter inside mocking my tardiness. Then horror. Pie abandoned on my counter. In that dining inferno. Dissociation gripped me. For years muted. For years eroded. No more. August 12th, I declared. Amplifying. You begged $700 for home repairs. Michael wired it instantly. Margaret flushed deeper. I pressed. September 18th. $450 for health costs. October 3rd. $300 essentials. Emily. Halt, Michael pleaded faintly. Halt, truth. I scanned the petrified clan. She's drained $3,000 plus while vilifying me. George's utensil crashed. What repairs? What health? Margaret stammered. Voiceless at last. Confess, I urged. Empowerment surging. Those costs funded spa days. Sophie brunches. Sophie bolted upright. Lies. Mom wouldn't. Phone aloft. I scrolled statements. Proof. Texts pleading secrecy. Don't tell George or Sophie, they'd fret. Room tomb silence save Liam's puzzled whispers. November 15th I barreled. Groceries plea. Yet I spied your cart, lobster. Champagne for Sophie's bash. George blanched. True. Margaret. Or December 1st. $250 fuel, but your home blazed like Vegas. AC blasting. You stalked me, she croaked. Passing by post Liam's checkup. Wasteful for one strapped. Michael sank. Later. No. I'm done shielding her venom. Revelation peaked. That fuel? Casino slots. I glimpsed receipts in your bag fetching Liam's meds, blackjack tabs. Roulette stubs. $250 vanished. Oppression thickened, even youths hushed. George confronted Margaret. It's harmless fun, she quavered. Occasional bets, everyone indulges. Fun? Gambling our mortgage while smearing me as spendthrift. Sophie deflated. Mom. You claimed Emily bankrupted Michael with luxuries. I thrift shop. Coupon clip. Deny myself basics for your emergencies. Margaret detonated. Insolent. Storming my Christmas. Humiliating me. She lurched up. Chair toppling. Veins throbbing. Jealous of Sophie's glow. My pride, your venom. Twisting my kin. Panting wildly. Sweat slicked despite chill. She recoiled from George's touch. No calm. This harpy schemed eternally. Chest seized. She clawed fabric. Can't breathe. Her lips blued, gasps guttural. We froze, her theatrics legendary, feigned migraines dodging Liam duty. Phantom aches evading chores. Mom. Drop the act, Sophie scoffed. Emily's exposed you, don't escalate. But pallor genuine. Terror raw. My instinct screamed peril. Michael. He gaped. Paralyzed. She staggered. Grasping air, then slammed table's edge. Skull cracking horrifically. Blood seeped, she folded floorward. Pandemonium, Sophie's wails. Mom. George rigid. Michael kneeling. Wake up. Pulse erratic. Breaths faint. I dialed 911. Composure fracturing. Mother-in-law collapsed, chest pain. Head trauma. Unresponsive. Dispatcher guided. Airway clear. Compressions if needed. Sophie sobbed mantras. George stared vacantly. Paramedics burst in. Assessing. Cardiac episode, arrhythmia. Hypertension spike. Head contusion critical. Stretcher bound. She diminished tyrant to frail shell. As they loaded. George pierced me. You're doing. Stress fractured her, Doc warned against it. George. Unfair, Michael began. Her loans? Your accusations? She fretted cash. Said you hounded for repayments, aggravating her condition. Even now. Twisted narratives. Sophie nodded. Mom confided Emily's demands stressed her heart. We trailed sirens through snowy dusk. Doubt gnawing. Had truth's blade severed irreparably? Hospital sterility amplified dread. 3 hours pacing. Isolation mounting, family shunned me. George brooded. Sophie strode tearfully. Michael cradled slumbering Liam. Dr. Reynolds emerged. Mrs. Harrington stable, mild infarction from acute stress. Chronic hypertension. George, heart attack? She's 58. Triggers abound lifestyle. Anxiety. Recent pressures. Glances accused me. Head needs 15 stitches, no neuro damage. But overhaul vital. Therapy. Meds. Calm. We filed in, Margaret. Wired and bandaged. Whispered, sorry. Do you all? Stunned silence. Apologies alien to her. Doc says near fatal, she trembled. George. The gambling. Started small. Post-layoff desperation. Chased wins to repay Michael, lost more. Why hide, he pressed. Shame. Easier blaming Emily, her poise. Motherhood. Evoked my lacks. Sophie slumped. You painted her monster. Jealousy poisoned me. Anxiety's grip. Therapy's unveiling it. George vowed, together. No secrets. No bets. 7 months on. Frosting Liam's cake. Doorbell chimed. Margaret. Tentative with gift. For Liam, not intruding. You're welcome, I opened wide. She'd reformed. Sessions weekly. Med study. Edges softened, not affectionate. But civil. Thanks for 911 swiftness. Docs said delay could've. Anyone would've. She shook head, not post my cruelties. I diminished you to elevate me, profound wrong. As Liam embraced her. Fractures mended subtly. Truth storm ravaged. Yet from ruins. Fragile bonds regrow. Revenge's echo? A hollow victory. Shadowed by near loss's cost. Healing demanded more than vengeance. It exacted vulnerability from us all.